Mid!
The GFL Draft has concluded, and we're going to break down the best and worst moments. Let's get right into it. The stream starts and we already have technical difficulties. We see the panel with no audio, the social media manager lady, and the results of the first 10 rounds of the draft. Predetermined bullshit ruined my immersion. And we'll touch on it later, but the order and team compositions reek of just being set up ahead of time. Not even drafted by their team manager and coach, but set up by Darren Owen. Our first look is an accident. Our second should have been an accident. Horrible deepfakes of these pre-drafted fighters with weird statues and a bulldog jump scare for some reason. This is hellish. I can't play the trashy rap song that was in the background at the time, but for all we know, it might have been AI generated too. There's a cage in the background here. It is a hexagon, but it's stretched. I hope it's just bad AI prompts and not the real cage. We then get a more official look at our panel. Caroline Pierce works for TNT Sports in the UK and she is way over her head. Robin Black is a former fighter, / musician, / analyst, / drug user. Very divisive figure, didn't have a great appearance on the JRE, talked a lot of shit about Ariel Helwani and Luke Thomas, and he always insists that he should be on UFC broadcasts. He's a C+ player at best. Mike Goldberg is here to add some much-needed legitimacy. He's a little bit before my time, but the energy he brings is phenomenal. And funny enough, during this broadcast, Brendan Schaub was the voice of reason. He was the one poking holes in some of the responses from fighters and issues with formatting. He actually came across pretty likable here. We take another look at the teams. Decent names, but there's no manager for Team New York. Ray Longo, they left that guy high and dry. Another reason why I don't think that the draft was real. They acted like Ray Longo drafted all his fighters when the manager did it for every other team. The draft took place in a snake format, but again, every fighter ended up exactly where you thought they would. Little spoiler for Team Sao Paulo, they didn't sign a single fighter outside of South America. They picked Fabricio Verdum first. Pettis and Nurmagomedov were still on the board. Chris Weidman was picked before Yoel Romero. Aspen Ladd was picked before Derek Brunson. Nothing makes any sense. Darren Owen yaps about how he's been a fan of MMA since he was just a wee lad. Couldn't compete because of a spinal injury. What a fragile man. Then we go to break. This happened 10 times on the broadcast, where we would see the same video package and AI slop every 15 to 20 minutes. It took us 20 minutes to get to the first overall pick. The chosen one, Tyron Woodley. The panel talks about how Tyron was busy with music and boxing. Oh, remind me, how did both of those ventures end up? Second overall, Sage Northcutt. He's decent, got a bad shake of the stick in one championship, but he is younger than most and still pretty talented. Third up is Gegard Mousasi. In my video from a bit ago, I said that he was my number one pick. He still got it. JDS to Miami, Verdum to Sao Paulo. And then we talk with Ray Longo for a bit. He is wearing UFC Venom gear while wearing a GFL hat. Kevin Lee fits into this as the 6th overall draft pick. Chris Weidman, who we thought retired a week ago, turns out it was just clever wordplay. He simply retired from the UFC. Douglas Lima, former Bellator champion, and the graphics department says he beat Cain Velasquez. I don't remember that one happening. If we went in depth with every single pick, this video would be an hour. Let's skip through a couple of these. Tony Ferguson goes to Team LA at 14th overall. His entry into the draft was announced the same day. As far as I'm concerned, T-Ferg versus Dylan Dennis is the fight to make. Here is the draft order for the first 4 rounds before everybody gave up. The 5th round through to the 20th round, they started running out of time. So they just showed every team's full lineup. Again, if the draft was real, it didn't happen today. And that is a big if. Darren Owen, talking with Mike Heck of MMA Fighting, said that they'll move fighters around if need be. That isn't necessary because everyone is where they want to be anyways. Another little plot hole here. They never talked about how the draft order was decided. Maybe Dubai got first pick because they have the highest rate of slavery. Not sure what the deal is here. We got some cameos from celebrities. John Jones introduced a pick. Christian McCaffrey introduced a pick. Paige Van Zant's tits and cross combo appeared live and in color. The fucking whore. And Gegard Mousasi was looking very stylish. The second half of the draft included Damir Ismagulov. He should have been drafted way earlier. Robelis Despain, Marlon Moraes because he doesn't want to be able to walk, Patricky Pitbull, Benson Henderson, and Dylan fucking Dennis. New York. Dylan Dennis. Fuck. Yes! Dylan Dennis! We got Dylan Dennis! Dylan's confirmed! Holy shit! Holy shit! Dude, sorry, I hit my fucking mic. Sorry, guys. Holy shit, I went up 10 octaves. Notable fighters who didn't get drafted are Greg Hardy, no more Inhalergate, Husamar Palhares, everyone's knees breathed a sigh of relief, Anton Turkaush, the Pleasure Man won't be able to pleasure me in the GFL. Wait, not like that. And Juan Adams. He was a pretty out there pick, but I personally think he would have ran through the division with a fury that we haven't seen since the Ice Age. Now I know that it is very early, but I have some picks for who's going to win each weight class's bracket. First off, no one cares about women's GFL fights, I'm sorry. For bantamweight, Timur Valiev. Featherweight, my first instinct was to look at Team Dubai, and Adalet Nurmatov seems decent. The other fighter on Dubai's featherweight roster has a supremely padded record, so this guy seems better than him. Might be the worst division in the GFL right now. Chad Mendez is good, but he's getting up there, so I gotta go with Adalet Nurmatov. For lightweight, Demir Magulov shouldn't have ever been cut from the UFC. His only losses are to Grant Dawson and Arman Saryukian, right? The guy is pretty elite. Beat Thiago Moises, beat a young Joel Alvarez. For welterweight, we're going to go with Abubakar Nurmagomedov. When Ferguson, Dennis, and Woodley are your competition, it is a pretty low bar. In the middleweight division, Gegard Mousasi held gold in Bellator very recently. He's still pretty elite, or about as elite as it gets in the GFL. At light heavyweight, Antonio Carlos Jr. seems good, but for a dark horse pick, I'm going to go with Devin Clark. I don't know. Guy took a little bit of time off. Pretty decent skill set, well-rounded, just didn't really fit in the UFC, wasn't that good, but I believe in him. For heavyweight, the broadcast made a big deal of Ali Isaev. Seems like he's the best heavyweight. He was drafted first, so maybe. But I think if Juan the Kraken Adams gets his chance as an alternate, he's taking the whole goddamn thing. The chat for my live reactions, as well as the chat for the official stream, were the highlight of the event for me. Some of the one-liners that people were coming up with, they needed to be mentioned, and I'm going to sneak them in kind of towards the end of the video here. If you lit a match near Robin, his hair would be up in flames instantly. Their costumes look like they're from Spy Kids 3. Robin Black looks like he's wearing a white chick's mask. He probably smells like Dollar Tree cologne. He looks straight out of Vice City. At best, the GFL sticks around for a while and gives these old guys a paycheck and a way to wane off of fighting. At worst, it's car crash television, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to be here for the ride. Like, comment, and subscribe so I can become the #1 GFL YouTuber. I'm almost serious this time. My other video has similar numbers to Helwani, and yet these guys mentioned every other schmuck during the watch-along. Mac Malley, his dog, who cares? Thank you all so much for watching, and have a good time.